We are hearing from one of the businesses impacted by a Las Vegas fraud investigation. It all unfolded last week. That's when hundreds of people gathered outside a business off Sunset and Pecos Thursday morning. Many of them believed they were prepared to start a new job, but instead they walked away feeling uneasy that their sensitive information could be used against them. Metro says on January 21st, when an online ad was posted looking for third-party Amazon delivery drivers, job seekers were given sheets with an appointment for Quest Diagnostics to get drug testing done before securing the job. But when they went to the labs, they didn't have an appointment and couldn't get the testing done, which is why many went back to the original business and figured out that there was a problem. Quest sent the statement on the investigation saying, in part, in recent days, certain patient service centers operated by Quest Diagnostics in Las Vegas have fielded a larger than normal volume of requests for workplace drug testing that lacked required documentation. We believe these requests relate to a possibly fraudulent job fair scheme, and we are in contact with the proper authorities in Las Vegas and assisting them in their investigation.